Hi, this is Little Dwarf playing games while rambling incoherently into a microphone. Why? Well, just because I can. And I continue with Vampire the Masquerade, Shadows of New York, Blind. Now, I need to rest, so let's just do that. Oh, you're up early. Yeah, told you, got work to do. A stretch. That's admirable. Reminds me of that one quote he always used to throw around. A lot of people say you can't smoke dope and get drunk with your kids. No, get drunk with your kids. Well, probably. Yeah, probably a lot of people do say that you cannot smoke dope and get drunk with your kids. But also, a lot of people say you can't smoke dope and get drunk when you got kids. But that's not true. You can, but you still gotta get up in the morning. That's being responsible. Isn't that a famous copy pasta? I think it is. That's the one. I never understood why it was so hilarious to you. Neither did I. I just accepted the mystery and made it my personal credo. I'm a responsible person. Are you planning to have kids? Not in a million years. By the way, you've got mail. An envelope by the door. It's from Kadia. Inside is a message saying he won't be able to make it tonight, but will rendezvous tomorrow to meet D'Angelo. He wants me to lay low until then, and to stay in this apartment if possible. Apparently, nobody knows where Tamika is, and they only know she's in trouble, and he doesn't want me near it. Well, what is it? Well, I've got a next lead. Looks like I need to hit the town. Next lead, probably useless, but the investigation continues. Well, to be honest, that is a lie. Because I've been specifically told not to leave the house. Again, it's a couple of times it has already happened where I assumed the game meant something else than my character ultimately said, because I do have a clue, kind of, because Kadir has located D'Angelo and he wants to take me to meet him tomorrow, which is a clue in my mind. But she said something else completely. I guess she just wants to get out. It would be fun to spend some more time together, you know. Dakota, you know this is important to me. I know, but I would like to know that I am important to you as well. That makes two of us. Just a few more days, I will find the killer, kick his ass, get a promotion, and we'll do something we've never done before. Like what? Good question. I will think of something. For now, catch up with your work. I need to get going. Fine, good luck. Stay safe. You know it. This place is weirdly empty tonight. Oh well. I'll have the usual. I feel there's a big "what are we doing in this relationship" talk coming if I don't change my ways. Honestly, I'm kinda surprised it hasn't already happened, but most of the time Dakota seemed happy enough just listening to the stories of my own life. Even if it's all boring and normal to me, it's exotic and engrossing to her. Guess I have that going for me. Oh well. I have no idea what to do tonight, so I will just do the obvious thing and wing it. These vagabond shoes are longing to stray right through the very heart of it, or however it went. I guess it's a quote from a song, or from a poem. But again, I don't know it. Maybe I will look it up and post the entirety of it in the description. Although there is a horrifyingly high possibility that it's in fact a very well-known song or something, but I just don't know it anyway, because I'm not that acquaintance with a lot of the classic songs, with a lot of songs that are considered to be like masterpieces of history or whatever. So, it is what it is. And time to lose myself in these busy streets and pray that the answers I'm looking for are out there. And if they are not, maybe I will at least find some amusement or blood instead. Okay, so again I have two choices, camera shyness. No, I don't want to be a part of your goddamn interview. Look, can I not be bothered for one goddamn second? You're not listening. So this is somebody bothering me on the street as part of a TV program or something, I guess. Maybe news. And this is the Prince of Cats. I need to resolve this thing with Dakota. As if going around in circles on behalf of the court wasn't stressful enough. Maybe a visit to some quiet neighborhood will help me clear my head. Okay, to be honest, this seems more interesting, but this seems more important because I would wish the protagonist that she, sort of lives happily ever after with Dakota, that they have a good relationship and that they are happy together. So I guess the game is suggesting that this might be conducive to Julia figuring something out with in that regard. So let's go with that. There it is, the distinct vibe of Manhattan's residential area. And an unmistakable scent of a casserole enveloping the surroundings in a heavenly aura. The atmosphere of desolation makes it feel like purgatory, though. There's not a single soul in sight, and... oh crap. Looks like I'm not alone after all. Some guy exerts himself, climbing a nearby tree. I instinctively take a step into the shadows to remain outside his line of sight, but I can barely see anything from where I stand. I will move closer, what's the... I'm not doing anything illegal, I'm just walking down the street. My inner voyeur is squirming for more details. I move a few steps closer, keeping to the shadows. For a good while, all I can hear is heavy panting. Come on, dude, this oak isn't even that tall. Sure looks like it's the first time that guy ever tried climbing a tree. It takes a long time for the mysterious trespasser to steady his breath and carry on. As soon as he crawls out of the tree's crown, the dim streetlights reveal the face of a young guy in his early 20s. Against the spectacular night sky, and with exaggeratedly tormented romantic gaze, he truly looks like a hero befitting the cover of a Harlequin paperback. He sizes up one of the longer branches. It seems sturdy enough, and nearly reaches a nearby window on the second floor. Still, the guy is hesitant. Alright, no biggie, just eyes on the prize. So is he a burglar, or is he trying to meet somebody, like his girlfriend, that their parents might disapprove of the meeting, or maybe it's too late for her to be out of the house? He moves a few steps along the branch, his feet slipping every other step on his way to the window. By some inexplicable fluke, he manages to keep his balance. Once he makes it far enough, the branch slowly bends under his weight. He kneels down, probably calculating his chances to make it over to the windowsill. My guy, if you pull it off, it will be a legit miracle. What? Is somebody there? Oh shit, should have been more careful. The trespasser pivots rapidly, startled by the sound of my voice. Just as he notices me, he loses his footing and dives straight into the front yard of the nearest house. Oh shit. He drops to the ground with a muffled thump. Luckily for him, the lawn hasn't been trimmed in a while, and the tall grass cushions his landing somewhat. As soon as he recovers, the guy gets up and starts limping towards the fence. He tries to climb over, but quickly ends back on the ground, clutching his leg in pain. He turns to me and starts begging under his nose. Hey you, shit, please, I'm hurt. Do me a solid and open the gate. Well, with his ankle twisted, he's not going to get out of this mess on his own, and it's not like I'm particularly law-abiding. Oh, so he is, because I didn't get it from context. Like, obviously, I feel like the game has not described it clearly enough to me, because there are sort of a couple of ways you can climb a tree and try approach a window, and I feel like you could do that to meet with someone who's inside, you know, to knock on their door or something. I mean, not on their door, on their window. But it would look distinctively different from you trying to break into the house through the window. And I feel like the game has not given me a clear enough description to distinguish between that. But I guess if he is a burglar, then I probably should let the residents know he's here, or, you know, generally do something to alert them to the fact that somebody tries, you know, is trying to break into their house. But I know how it goes. You save some poor wretch from morally ambivalent situation, feel like a hero for a while, and then the universe faces you with the unforeseen consequences of your actions and makes you feel like shit. Somewhere out there, the invisible screenwriter of your lives yells gotcha, should have known the world is not black and white, fucker, with glee. You sure come off as someone whose intentions were 100% innocent, which I believe is probably thick with sarcasm. He gazes right at me, tears of hope glinting in his eyes, which is precisely why I don't believe they were. Before he utters a word, I walk up to the gate and hold the buzzer for long enough to wake all of the residents of the house and a couple of their neighbors, and the cute alley cat too. As soon as the front window lights up, I lift my finger off the button, but I just keep on buzzing, repeatedly dropping and raising in tone, like it's going haywire. Typical. I barely touch the thing and it's busted. Why would you do that? Her father is going to beat the shit out of me. Well, so it was what I assumed. Maybe him trying to meet the girl in the middle of the night, but still, that's kind of fishy. Like, I don't think you should do that, because it's very easy to assume what I have just assumed, that you are trying to break in. Which I guess, technically speaking, you still would be. Like, I guess for a given definition of breaking in, if you break in just to meet with someone who's already inside, that's still technically breaking in, even if you don't steal anything inside. I take off just in time to avoid being noticed by a furious family man who barges through the front door and immediately lashes out at the trespasser. The soft voice of a young girl joins the ruckus a few seconds after, desperately pleading for forgiveness. Well, there's no denying they knew each other. Shit. Maybe the world is a little less morally ambivalent than the prestige TV taught me. I walk away, feeling guilty and embarrassed. All of a sudden, the world ends. Everything stopped. I am lost in the darkness, and there's not even a heartbeat to guide me. It's like sleep paralysis, except it feels as if I suddenly woke up from reality instead of a dream. Instinctively, I reach to it the same way I used to react whenever I woke in the middle of the night, aware but not able to move or speak. I just wait for it to pass. But instead of slowly regaining control, I just see a bizarre room emerge from the darkness. Just look at her, flesh refusing its fate. It is. Repeated a bunch of times. It is not the one you were looking for, is it? He was led like a lamb to the slaughter, and as a sheep is silent before the shears, he did not open his mouth. There is none righteous, not even one. There is none who understands. There is none who seeks for God. All have turned aside together. They have become useless. Anyone curses his father or mother, he must be put to death. Raging waves of the sea, forming up their own shame, wandering stars for whom is reserved the blackness of darkness forever. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. And in those days shall men seek death, and shall not find it, and shall desire to die, and death shall flee from them. Whenever I become one with the darkness, there is always the nagging fear that it might be impossible to become normal me again. That instead of the shadows returning to normal, I will let my consciousness be dragged somewhere else, somewhere between the worlds. Somewhere like this, wherever this is. This is the first time that fear has come true. Are you afraid? It's a bad idea to answer. Don't do it. Yes. Excellent. 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 So there are like 3 distinct shapes? I think I need to sit in this chair. I think I need to sit in this chair. Well, I don't think it matters which one of the options I choose, so let's choose the middle one. I sit in the chair, still in the lean years and unworthy of joining the rest. What? However, the path is open, and it is a path of obligation, liability, a debt that will be repaid one day. And when she asks you what brought you here, let your response be a scent of death. Suddenly, I feel my mind beginning to drift away from here. I am slowly starting to regain control over my thoughts. No, you aren't. Yes, I am. Fine. Think whatever you want. I find myself in a dark corner, leaning against a wet, cold brick wall. I think I'm conscious again, back from wherever it was, awake, but in an unfamiliar place. Well, let's just hope this is still New York City. I emerge from the shadows to see where I am. A source of light above my head momentarily blinds me, causing me to instinctively raise my hand. As I do, I hit some sort of a garbage bag with my hand. It falls to the floor, letting loose a metallic din. What the fuck? Wait, is that Tamika? A woman. I feel her hand grabbing my clothes. She brutally drags me closer. With one of my hands already above my head, I raise the other. Easy, peace. I mean you no harm. How long have you been here? I don't know. I've got no idea what I'm doing, here or in general, really. It's like sometimes the forces I control figure out how to control me. What are you, a junkie? No, you're kindred. Yeah. Keep your shit together, damn it. I'm Julia Savinsky, the representative of the Lasombra in New York City. Camarilla? Uh-huh. I'm a Camarilla investigator. Well, if you came to catch me, you're gonna be sorry you tried, Miss Lasombra. No, stop right there. I wasn't ordered to catch anybody. I'm just investigating Douglas Callahan's death. This surprises her. She loosens her grip slightly. Callahan is dead? And nothing left but a rotten carcass and a musty robe. Well, I'll be damned. I've been off the grid for too long. What brought you here? A memory from a different world pops up in my head. Yeah, I think I know the right answer. Scent of death. Oh, so did the ghosts like give me clues? She lets me go. I rub my eyes and finally get a good look at her face. I think this is Tamika from Code Race. I think she looks a little bit different, but I think it is her. She's gorgeous, and judging by her nomadic clothes and the particularly fierce aura, she is probably an outlander. Well, have a talk, you and I. Sure, what is your name? Tamika, pass me a smoke, will you? If only I could, my heart would skip a beat right now. Tamika, I guess once again, someone out there has led me to the proper path. Yeah, sure. When I pass her a cigarette, I realize I'm standing in something wet. Something that smells tasty. Did I kill someone? I look at my feet and see a puddle of water mixed with blood. Oh, I get it. Were these guys first light? Oh, so I thought of a second Inquisition like raiding party or something? Because First Light is like a Second Inquisition commando unit, I believe. The high-powered guns and the expensive-looking outfits, flashbangs, tasers, all chosen specifically to combat the undead. I recognize their equipment from some horror stories I've heard. Now, tasers, really? Like, I've been wondering about that in coteries already. I feel like tasers would not work on a vampire, because obviously their nervous system no longer functions on a, in accordance with the laws of nature. Their body moves because of magic, basically. I don't think you can tase a vampire. First Light, SI, USOCOM, whatever they call themselves, they all bleed the same, usually before I have the chance to ask them a single question. Government-funded inquisitors, some claim that they are connected to the US government, some claim that they are supported by the anti-kindred faction in the Holy See, some have even wilder theories. You did all of this by yourself? Have you seriously seen nothing? Nothing at all? I shake my head. Believe it or not, I have no idea how I got here. I just kinda let the shadows guide me. Is that a Lasombra thing? I've never actually talked to any of you. No idea what you guys can actually do. Still learning the ropes myself, going with the flow and all that. My embrace was just a few months ago. Huh. So you folks are with the Ivory Tower now. Last I checked, you were with the Sabbat. Yet to be honest, the last I as a player checked, they were with the Sabbat as well. The Kamis wouldn't forgive all the trouble you've caused them overnight. Again, I'm practically still a neonate. I just know there's a lot of bad blood between my clan and the others, and that I can expect at least one glare of pure contempt whenever I visit Elysium. Huh, I see. We smoke in silence for a short while. So, did you kill all of them yourself? You haven't answered my question. You did all of this by yourself? Yeah, I've been hunting these guys for the past few months. Aren't they extremely dangerous? Almost got me for good last year. Took me a few weeks to get back in action. Then why are you doing this? Those motherfuckers have an unfortunate tendency to hurt people I care about. My brothers, my sisters. I see. I don't know how it is in other cities, but here, funnily enough, they only seem to target the marginalized and radicalized kindred, ones that could theoretically pose a threat to the current order. Interesting. So is she implying that they are being fed info by the people who benefit from the status quo? You know, maybe from the Camarilla itself, kind of. Maybe it's the prince is feeding the Second Inquisition info so that they get rid of people who oppose her or who are inconvenient for her. Meanwhile, the establishment in New York hasn't really changed ever since Celebros stepped down. Quite the opposite. Every SI raid in the city has only strengthened the old paradigm. Yeah, so that is kind of consistent with the theory I've just stated. Almost makes you think that their goal is something other than protecting the citizens from the blank body menace. Yeah, right, because the Second Inquisition calls vampires blank bodies because they do not register as alive on heat scans, right? They have room temperature. They do not maintain homeostasis because they are already dead. Tamika throws her cigarette into the puddle, unfinished, and then crushes it under her heel. She obviously has difficulty smoking. It's like she only has tried it a few times. I assume she saw me carrying a pack and decided to try it to calm her nerves after the battle. Or maybe she just wanted an excuse to make our conversation less awkward. Who knows? So, are you planning to snitch on me, Shadow Girl? And why would I do that? Let me get this straight. You really think I am dumb enough to believe, for 1 second, that a Camarilla investigator would just so happen to stumble upon the alley when I killed a bunch of SI motherfuckers? If so, you are the one who's dumb, sister. I don't care if you think I'm dumb. I don't care about SI. And I don't care if you believe it was a happy accident I met you, especially since considering not even the sheriff knows where you are. But I care about solving the mystery of Callahan's death, and as it happens, you're one of the pieces of the puzzle. What? What are you talking about? I found this on his body. Well, what remained of it. I show her the note. She tries to grab it and read it, but I don't let her. Aside from your name, we've got Hope, Agathon, and D'Angelo. You know them? Passingly. Any idea why Callahan would need a list of all of your names? I might know why, yeah. Do you? Absolutely. Do you know of a man going by the name of Torque? Of course I do. Do you know about his connection to Boss Callahan, and by proxy to this list and me? No, I'm all ears. Well, too bad, because that's classified intel, sister. What do you mean by classified? Not free. Oh, great. As if I were in the position to, or could afford any sort of quid pro quo. But fine, let's hear it. What do you want? She motions towards the bodies. I've killed too many of those assholes. They are tightening the screws. As it is, New York City is no longer safe for someone like me. Well, not that it ever was. Oh man, brace for something unreasonable. What I need is a way out of the city. You offer that to me, and I can give you the intel you need. Would you look at that? I think that's something I can handle, actually. Yeah, especially what with me being basically a vampire Camarilla border guard. Like I am responsible for the customs, basically. She raises her eyebrows. That's a surprisingly confident answer for someone who's practically still a neonate. I'm something of an immigration officer. Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Gotta say, you sound awfully close to a cop. Almost as bad, a bureaucrat. I know of a secret pathway that would lead you to West Coast, 100% safe travel, and if you took it, you would be untraceable. Sounds too good to be true. What's the catch? Wait until you see how much it costs. The only reason I know of this route is because of a certain nosy criminal group reached out to me on the account of my position and offered a mutually beneficial deal regarding illegal kindred travel. Normally I would refuse, but they offered me the only thing that could buy me a lot of cash. Okay. At least she's honest with herself inside her own mind. Nah, fine then. Money is not an issue. Now that's something I've never had a chance to ever say in earnest. Okay then. So I guess you want me to help you first. I guess you want me to help you out before you do anything for me. Of course, but would you even accept this kind of deal? Hell no. Right, so we need to think of something that actually benefits both of us. She's lost in her thoughts for a moment, and then speaks up. Have you met Torque before? In the course of your investigation or before? I wanted to, but on the Anarch side, I only managed to meet Mia, and she isn't keen on the idea of us two ever meeting. Ah yes, Mia. Her expression betrays that she's got some vicious stories to tell, but it would be beneath her to divulge them. Too bad. Maybe it could be a bonding experience. So here's the thing. A few months ago, Torque and I were together. A lot of things happened, and long story short, I no longer feel close to him, but from what I know, he still feels close to me. Back when I thought there might be something between us, I gave him a ring that has a lot of sentimental value to me, and since these days sentimentality is all that keeps me going, I want it back. So my suggestion is, tell Torque's people that I sent you to get inside his base of operations, meet up with him, ask your questions and convince him to give me back my ring. You get to interrogate him, then I get to have my ring back, then you hear my side of the story, then I get to leave the city with your help. Everybody wins, more than once. They will really just let me in because I tell them you sent me? They will, trust me. That sounds too easy. What caused the two of you to drift apart? Irreconcilable differences in worldview. Well, I assume so, but that's a diplomatic answer. If I'm involving myself in a relationship drama of two ex-lovers, I will need something more to go on. Will you? She picks her words carefully. I realized I had become an element of his carefully crafted, projected image. Having me as a radical partner allowed him to present himself as a mediator while paying lip service to the revolutionary ideas. Mediator. That's 21st century for you. Everyone wants to be a middleman these days, and nobody wants to do what is right. You serious? Wherever I hear about Torque from the Ancilla, they talk about him like he's the second coming of Mao. If he ever seemed that, it's only because from time to time people like me pushed him into doing an uneasy thing. Ever heard of the Southern Wolf and the Northern Fox? Both of them want to eat you for dinner, but only the Southern Wolf makes it immediately obvious. The tricky Northern Fox makes eyes and allows you to pet him before taking a bite. Torque loves to surround himself with Northern Foxes. They talk of compromises, they seem reasonable compared to the opposition, but at the end of the day, they still have the eyes on the same prize, power. Hearing this gives me a foreboding feeling, but I can't exactly nail down why. Alright, tell me where to go, and I will tell you where we'll meet later. I'm just chilling at Torque's when suddenly a shrill, loud voice pierces my eardrums. And what the hell are you doing here? Oh yay, it's the pissy lady from Torque's inner circles. Are you always this pissed off? Only when the Ivory Tower bootlickers pop up to ruin my day. If you want me to act happier, make yourself scarce. No can do. Your boss let me in here. The hell he did. Get out. I thought you would be more open to cooperation after our last talk. Not when you're trying to make deals behind my back, bitch. Yeah, it's okay. There he is, walking through the door, one of the most infamous New York City barons, or as some people started calling him in the moment Callahan met his end, the Baron, of New York City. Torque, we've talked about this. The situation is a little bit different now. Tamika sent her. What? Bullshit. I wasn't able to track her down for weeks. Well, I did. This is a reason to celebrate, not to get mad. Now, if you allowed the two of us a private conversation... No way. I want to keep an eye out on her. You will keep an eye on the exit, and that will be enough. Please. He puts on his best authoritative tone, and it works. No protests this time. Mia leaves the room. When talking to Mia, you mentioned cooperation. First I've heard about it. I tried to make friends with her so that the investigation would go more smoothly. Looks like it wasn't appreciated. I'm sorry about her. She can be overzealous, but usually that is not a bad thing. Sure. She has told you I've been trying to reach you for a few nights? I don't think so. Have you? Well, I am the damas that the court ordered to investigate Callahan's final death, so considering your connection to the case, I thought it would be prudent for us to talk. So that's you. Yeah. Now you're probably anxious to hear about Tamika. I'm surprised to hear you two know each other. We actually met through this investigation. Anyway, as I was saying, I know you probably can't wait to hear about her, but I would like to ask you a few questions first. I understand. Do your job. Did you know Douglas Callahan? That is a stupid question, because the answer seems kind of obvious. Of course I did. We are both barons. Kept having professional obligations to meet each other. But that was it. What was your private opinion of him? Same as everyone else. A racist clown mentally stuck in the 18th century who spent too much time keeping the Anarchs down. I'm glad he's gone. You mean you're glad he met his final death? Well, you know what they say. Hate to see you go, love to watch you leave. What? How does it make sense in this context? He did, first of all, he did directly benefit from Callahan's death, and second of all, it doesn't seem like he's at all, like he's at all concerned about him having died. So why does he say, hate to see you go, love to watch you leave? It seems he both loved watching him leave and him being gone. Like, I don't understand the distinction. Weren't you the first kindred who saw his corpse? I was, but it was his ghouls who found him. By the way, we've established that some of them tampered with the crime scene. They were properly disciplined for that. Convenient story. Let's move on. What's your alibi for tonight? I mean, for that night? None. I was running around town the entire night, taking care of various issues unrelated to Callahan, but I don't intend to divulge them to someone from the ivory tower. So you have no interest in proving yourself innocent. My official position was made clear. It's the Camarilla who are to blame. Your job to prove me wrong. Kurwa mać. At least for once, can I face a problem that can be solved with pure logic and not politics? I wasn't expecting Polish to sneak in into this game, but obviously my character is of Polish ancestry, and if she had Polish parents, even if she probably knows, well, it's obvious from this that she at least knows a couple of Polish swear words, but if she was actually raised in a Polish-speaking household, it would be kind of natural for her to swear in Polish, in times of stress. Actually, kurwa mać is a bit of an interesting swear word, because directly translating it would mean your mother's a whore, but it doesn't have to be targeted at anyone. And in fact, in this case it isn't, and like it doesn't have to be, as I said, it doesn't have to be spoken to someone. It's a general exclamation of annoyance and such. Any findings on your side I should know of? Ask Mia. She is the one who handled the murder scene. I'm not privy to all of the details. Hope, D'Angelo, Agathon. Any idea who those people are? Can't recall, sorry. The evidence I found suggests a potential link between Callahan and Tamika. Any clue? I knew both of them well, but that is as far as I know. But as far as I know, they have never met. That's it. Oh well, I'm not sure what I expected. He's the kind of guy that could only be pushed to talk if I had something concrete to push him with. Well, to be honest, that's kind of my assumption about pretty much everyone. And as I said a number of times, I feel like my character is a little bit too rash in her approach to confront everyone directly as soon as she has a shred of evidence. I feel like it would be wiser if she stayed in the shadows for a little bit longer. The shadows, what with her being Lasombra. But I think she should step forward with a more formulated accusation. Time to move on. Well, regarding Tamika, finally, I'll cut straight to the chase. She wanted to inform you that she will be skipping town for a while. The SI is hot on her trail and she needs to lose them. ASAP. Oh, for I've told her countless times, if she's in danger, I will always be there for her. Does she think she can find a secure way out of the city in this situation? She's safe. So you say. She's got some other friends in high places. She will manage to get out. I gotta admit, that's not what I expected to hear, or what I wanted to hear. Why did she decide to contact me? She wants her ring back. His aura changes in a blink of an eye. Ah, I see now. So that's why she didn't show up herself, wouldn't even face me when delivering the final insult. Wait, is that like a... Because I didn't really think about the implications of it being specifically a ring. But like, were they like actually kind of engaged or something? But I guess in that case, she would have like, why would he be carrying her ring? Like, I don't, that doesn't make much sense. So maybe that was a bit of a, bit of a crazy train of thought that my mind led me to. Looks like I stepped on a landmine. She said the ring was a symbol of the trust she put in me. No way in hell I'm going to give it away. Not until she gives me a chance to explain myself. I need to get that ring to get Tamika to talk, but with the way he's acting, it doesn't seem likely that he would be willing to part with it. It might require me to act shitty, but maybe it's time to change my approach. Well, to be honest, I don't think I'm experienced enough to effectively lie to an old vampire. Because obviously vampires, most of them are masters of manipulation through necessity. And especially the older ones are probably very good at knowing if someone is lying. So let's just try being honest for once. It might catch him off guard. Fuck it, here we go. Honesty is the best policy is another one of my traits. Okay, but you know what? I think I'm going to pause here, because this episode has been long enough. I don't want to push it further than 45 minutes or so. So I'm going to pause here, and I will conclude the talk with Torque next time. For now, that's all. And that's all for this one. I will see you in the next one. Bye.